Come on in, come on in. Y'all like this little dress? Y'all like this? It's cute, right? I like it. It's cutesy. Woo! Come on in, y'all. Come on in. Come on in, y'all. We about to get started. Come on in, come on in. It feels like the freshest breath of air when I'm with you. It feels like nothing could compare. All right, y'all, we about to get started. I hope everyone had a good day. I hope everyone is having a good night. In Atlanta, we're about to get some storms. So we're getting a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, and pretty soon it'll be pouring down raining. Tonight's live is going to be a little different. Tonight is going to be a reaction video. So we're going to be reacting to a video. And I'm going to be having an open conversation about the DL community, because the video that I'm bringing to you today to react to is a video that's been circulating around on social media involving someone by the name of Famous Charles. And apparently this individual was assaulted. He was punched in his throat and knocked to the floor because apparently, I guess a day before or earlier that day or at some point, he was on live and there was a gay person on the live with him. And so this individual asked him or was questioning him about that. And I guess the guy is a big homophobe. And because the young man said, I don't discriminate, which is cool, by the way. I'm fortunate that I have some of the male friends I have is because there are men in the hetero community who absolutely do not discriminate. And so, you know, his point was, you know, whatever bro got going on doesn't have anything to do with him. He doesn't discriminate. And the guy did not like that response. And let's just see what happened. I'm going to show you the video. Give me a moment to pull this up. And then I'm going to have to grab my phone from the base. Let's grab this phone really quickly. Come on, let's get you out. Come on. Okay. And oh, y'all like this little setup? Y'all like this little setup? Hold on. He's got the stools on the other side too. All right. Anyway, all right. So Guys, look at this video along with me. And you know what? Let me put my legs this way because Lord knows now we don't need no yeah, because sometimes, All right. I'm good, Miss Optimistic. How are you?
You gotta get around. All this Instagram shit, you gotta get down there. Go down now, bro. Keep going.
He feels so tough, don't he? Then he runs him off the block. The guy has his hands up.
If this is not the gayest shit,
I want to rewind that. Let's just go back to that a little bit and see that again. That's good to know, Miss Optimistic. I've been good myself. Punched him in his throat. And he gets up. And the first thing, his first reaction is to shake the dude's, or to try to shake the dude's hand. And dude tells him, no, I ain't shaking your hand, bruh. We ain't on that ish.
you gotta get around. All this Instagram shit, you gotta get down there. Go down now, bro. Keep going.
Let me give credit to Say So TV for this video. But now I'm gonna kind of delve into this a little bit because I have to be honest with you all. I was bothered. Let me put this camera back in place, guys. But I was bothered. I was really bothered by that. I was bothered for the young man. I was bothered for the community. Everything about that interaction was a trigger for me. It's reminded me of so many situations that I found myself in with homophobic men who are more than likely, most often, DL men. I want y'all to understand that homophobia is the most telltale trait of a DL man, a man who is struggling with his sexual identity. What he did to that young man comes from something deep within himself. It is this discomfort, this displeasure with feelings and thoughts that he has swirling around in his head that he may never have even acted on. He probably has never once acted on them. But the fact that the thoughts are there, the fact that he finds himself in uncomfortable situations where he's out in public with male friends, or he sees a male who he finds attractive and it stirs up an attraction in him that makes him very uncomfortable, and he doesn't know how to deal with that, right? And then you couple that with the fact that we live in a patriarchal society, right? Where straightness is the prize, right? Straightness is the prize. And so a lot of men who experience same-sex feelings, they don't want to give up being the prize. Because the prize in America is to be, well, the prize is to be a straight white man. But the second prize is to be a straight black man, right? Or straight man in general is considered to be the prize. Um, Now, what gets me about this video, right, is that when the young man gets up, he's not going to look for a garbage can. He's not looking for a rock. Because I mean, it's pretty clear that size-wise, he was out of depth. It was probably not going to be. He probably didn't have. He doesn't even look like a fighter. He probably didn't have a shot in hell. However, you got up off that ground, bruh. You not looking for no bottle, garbage can, a stick, a broom, a belt, damn it, a feather, a handful of pebbles, a rock and a sock, a sharp, jagged piece of glass. You don't. You get up and your first reaction is to extend your hand to this man? For what? To congratulate him for assaulting you? Because you didn't want to discriminate. And see, this is the thing about these DL men. It's not enough for them to disagree with our lifestyle. It's not enough for them to say, oh, well, you know, that's not for me, and keep it moving. No. They need you to discriminate. They want you to be discriminatory. They want you to hate people who are different from you. And because that young man, who, if I'm being honest, gives me DL energy. I'm so sorry. The whole thing with the, you know, there are certain hairstyles I just don't think heterosexual men wear. The twist, especially when it's the two ponytail twist. If they've got like multiple and it almost kind of looks like a head full and it's dreaded, looks, you know, and twisted, that's one thing. But when they've got those damn two ponytails coming down, twisted, nah, that look is that's a little bit of a feminine, that's a little bit of too feminine of a look. That's too feminine of a look for a man to be having. So my thing is that when he said that he doesn't discriminate, I believe him that he doesn't discriminate, but I also believe that he is possibly, more than likely, allegedly, himself a DL individual. And I'm not mad at him for that. Don't put me in the category of people who hate DL men. Do not put me in that category. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Because I know what creates a DL man. I know what that comes from. I know, like, y'all even like to say, I hear people say, oh, it's 2026, don't nobody care. What I just showed y'all shows you that people do care. So if he was willing to assault that man the way he did, because that man simply had a conversation on live with someone in the LGBT community, what do you think he would do to somebody who's actually confirmed to be 100% gay? I will tell you what he would do. He's exactly the kind of nigga that would get on one of the apps. If you know, you know. He would get on one of the apps. He would link up with somebody in the LGBT community. He would engage in interactions with them. If you know, you know. And then he would kill them. That's it. End of story. He'd get on an app. He'd sneaky link with a member of the LGBT community. He would gratify himself with favors from that individual, and then he would kill them. This happens all the time, people. This is not a new thing. It happens all the time. But here's my thing with DL men and why I can't put myself in the category of people who hate them. You can definitely put me in the category of people who wish they didn't exist. But then you have to put me in the category of people who wish that we would create a world where DL behavior did not even have to exist, right? But you can't have a world where people are not going to hide behavior if the behavior is going to cause them to be murdered or possibly assaulted, or if the mother that they love more than anything in the world, that there's even the slightest chance that that mother is going to disapprove of them. I I just feel like, first of all, if you notice, the word DL is never used in the Hispanic community. The word DL is never used in the Asian community. It's never used in the white community, the YT community, the Indian community. The word DL only exists in our community. You know what they call DL in every other community? They call it a private life. They call it people minding their business and not yours. That's what they call that. We call it DL, right? And we kind of romanticize about DL culture. And you can go on any social media platform that has anything to do with DL culture, DL men. It's a eye grabber, it's an ear grabber. You hear someone was exposed, you want to be the first person in the audience, you want a first row seat to the exposure. Um, so we create the space for homophobia. And by creating the space for homophobia, you inevitably create the space for DL men. What if there's a man who has two children that he loves deeply, right? And when he made those children, he did it in honesty. He felt he was a straight man. He believed he was a straight man. He was trying to live as a straight man. But let's say the kids turn 5, 6, 7, and something shifts in his brain, something shifts in his spirit, in his soul, whatever it is that informs him that he's been living not in his truth and that it would be better for him to start living in his truth, right? And so he's trying to figure out what that means. He hasn't decided he's gay, right? But he's got these feelings. And so maybe he's talking to a guy, um, or whatever the case may be. And a man in his shoes, a man in his situation, do you really think that he's going to just walk out and just stand on a balcony and announce to the world that he thinks that he's gay or that he is? Of course not. His children are going to be ostracized. The mother of those children is going to use that against him in the court, or try to. So it'd be a whole plethora of reasons surrounding why some men choose to live secretly. Now, there are some men in the DL community who don't have those issues, and it's literally just about, I really want to be able to have my cake and eat it too. I want to mess with dudes, but I want to mess with girls, and I don't want those girls to know I mess with dudes. Yeah, that element does exist too. But I will stand on my belief that the majority of the men who are members of the DL community are that way because they've been raised to hate gay men and gay people all their life. They've been trained to hate gay people. They've been raised. They've been peer initiated into hating gay people. So what does that mean? Who else do they hate? They hate themselves. They hate themselves. When you live in a society, when you live in a community that has taught you since you were a child that these are people to be feared, that these are people to be hated, that these are people who should be burned at the stake, you internalize that and you think that way about yourself. And the best way that you can hide that, mask that, cope with that is to become a DL person. And in order to be successfully DL, you might have to do a little bit of discriminating. Yeah. You have to be doing a little bit of discriminating in public, and then in private, you're an ally. That's the way it works. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. But that's literally, let me open up comments. That's literally how this thing works. And as I'm opening up comments, if anyone has any questions about this, if you want to ask me about some of my experiences with DL men, please, let's do it. Tonight would be a great night. We might as well just, it's after 11 anyway. Fuck it. Now we Dominique After Dark. We Dominique After Dark now, y'all. But, so yeah, if you have any questions about some of the DL relationships that I've been in, DL encounters, how they've occurred, what has been the, some of the similar traits. If you have questions about things that maybe you as a sister, a mother, a brother, a friend, maybe should be looking for. But don't ask me if it's in a messy kind of, no. But if it's in a, I think that my family member might be that way, but doesn't want to come out, and how do I approach that? Because I would like to be an ally and support them if that's the case. If you coming from that realm with your questioning, absolutely, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Let's get it. Because I know that a lot of y'all have sisters and brothers, cousins and aunties and uncles, people who you wonder why they never in a relationship, or why their relationships never last, or how come I never see him with a girl, or why she never, you understand what I'm saying? Like, because most of the time in our families and in our friend groups, when we're around people that's DL, believe it or not, whether they know it or not, we always know it. Well, most of us do. Some of y'all be clueless as fuck, I'm not gonna lie. Some of y'all really do. But with me, personally, oh, I know it. I know it every time. There's never a time I don't know it. Let me just be 100% clear. There is no amount of hiding. There is no amount of covering up. There is no amount of homophobia. There is no amount of none of that that's going to keep me from noticing what need to be noticed. Right? Okay, what need to be noticed. Who's right up in here? Okay, what need to be noticed. Hold on, let me cut this down, this volume down here. And the thing is, a lot of y'all have men like both of those men in your families. You have men in your families who are homophobic, who do exhibit those traits of a DL man who is very hateful of himself and so therefore hateful of others. And you also have men in your family who are sort of the non alpha type men, the beta males, who have those gentle sides to them and aren't discriminatory to the community, but it's because deep inside of themselves, they too are struggling with the LGBT thing. And so they may not want to be discriminatory or mistreat us because they realize that at some point they're going to be living in their truth. And when they begin to live in their truth, they don't want to experience those same things. But this is why I say, if you have sons or you have nephews, it's very important that you raise them to be men who are willing to defend themselves, whether they are hetero men, whether they are not hetero men. You have to raise sons who are willing to take a loss, who are willing to take an ass whooping in order to make a point. Yeah, you got to get me in a headlock and drag me across the sidewalk and flip me over a couple times. Because I got to let you know that every time you fight me, it's going to be a dog fight. Because I know you don't want a dog fight every time. You used to beating people up and getting it over with. You don't want to have to actually go blow for blow with somebody. So, no, I'm going to give you what you don't want. Yeah, the blow for blow, all that. Throwing you all around, grabbing you by your privates. Yeah, all that. Yeah, I'm a dirty fighter. Absolutely. Yeah. I ain't got no fear in me when I'm fighting. No. Ain't no rules. No, I'm grabbing what I'm grabbing. Yeah. I'm squeezing, pulling, tugging, twisting, bopping, weaving, all that. Yeah. And you have to raise your sons, your nephews, your little brothers to be willing to defend themselves. There is no way in hell that that man was supposed to knock him out or knock him to the ground the way he did, and then he gets up and wants to shake hands with the man. For what? For what? Pointless. Baby, we would have moved cars around, trees, storefronts. No, you not just finna just punch me in my throat because I refuse to discriminate against someone who got something going on don't got nothing to do with either you or me. No, we're not doing that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't look like y'all have any questions. I was live earlier today too. I did a live this morning. It was about 9 or 10 o'clock this morning that we were live. And look, nobody's here when the image is good. Look at the image quality. It's excellent. Image. The video, the picture is clear, right? The set is looking good. And no one's here. We got 5 people in the building now. Does anyone have any questions about the video, about anything that we talked about? A general question about the DL community? Because I know it's a lot of stuff y'all be wanting to know, but y'all don't really get to ask these questions, right? You don't ever really get to like dig deep and ask, the question. Well, anyway, even if you catch it on the replay, definitely drop a question, a comment, like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I will see you guys I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Okay? You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm about to go and stroll these YouTube streets and see who bushes I can get on up in. All right? Bye bye, y'all.